name is Carolyn.
My name is Kate.
And this is Girls Unscripted. We are covering Vanderpump Rules, Season 1, Episode 2.
And the episode is titled, This is a Breakup. But I feel like this episode should have been titled,
Is this a breakup?
I think it just should have been titled, Fight.
Oh, interesting.
Because all it was Jax and Stassi fighting.
It was a lot of fighting.
They're fighting over here, they're fighting over there, they're fighting in the restaurant, they're fighting in the parking lot. Like, they're just fighting everywhere.
Speaking of fighting, can we jump right into the spreadsheet?
Oh, yes. So I'm just going to remind you guys, I was propositioned on TikTok to make a spreadsheet of all the shitty things that someone was like, oh, you're watching Vanderpump from the beginning. Can you please make a spreadsheet of all the shitty things that people have done? And I immediately said, no. Pitched it to Carolyn and she immediately said,
Abso-fucking-lutely.
yes. So Carolyn has started the spreadsheet and I would like to know how it's going.
I might regret this decision, to be honest, because I'm so like OCD that I'm thinking this through like a fucking attorney.
Well, everyone, there's many things.
There's too many things.
They all do shitty things.
I have to pause literally every 4 seconds because someone's doing something shitty all the time. And even like certain things, I'm like, I don't know if this is shitty, but it does belong here. So, okay, this is what I decided to do. Now this rubric might change. I give everyone a rating on whatever act they do, a 1 to 5. And I'll say it here. I have it written out. And on my TikTok, I'll post it so you can like look at all of them.
I want you to make like a TikTok series of this.
Basically, on a scale of 1 is like an egotistical, audacious claim, rude remark, drinking on the job, flirting when taken.
You're counting all of those?
And other mild transgressions. Think that's ridiculous. So 1 is,
okay,
that's ridiculous.
Okay.
A 2, this is where fights get into play because there were so many fucking fights, but some fights were a little more inappropriate than other fights. So it kind of broke it down into 2 being light verbal arguments at work. So it happened at work, but it didn't really draw attention. Escalated, meaning raised voices, arguments in public, obvious lies, blatant mean girl behaviors. Think this is getting out of hand.
Okay. These are great, by the way.
So 3, escalated, raised voices, argument at work. So at work, very, very loud screaming, physical arguments outside of work, cheating, very rude to Lisa, caught in a lie, and other moderate transgressions. Think this is absurd.
Okay. Great descriptors.
4, physical fights at work, caught cheating on camera, steals or other non-federal crimes.
Jax, you're fucking done for.
Think most people would never do these things.
Okay.
So all these
Jesus. Does it go to 4?
Goes to 5.
What is 5? Murder?
Federal crimes, caught lying about cheating for a significant period of time, and other aggressive transgressions. Think that's not real.
Okay, fair. Damn, that is so good. That's perfect. That's amazing how you marked them.
It took me a long time to get here, and I think I'm still might have to tinker with it because mainly everyone's on a 1 or 2 or 3.
Shit's gonna pop up. Well, for now we're only 2 episodes in.
You know who's had a 5 already? Who? Going in, she had a 5, and I felt like I had to put it in. I had to put it in there.
But that didn't happen on the show.
But it's
her
a major
getting with Eddie.
Plot point for her to be on the show. And I think it
Fair,
has
you
so
know
much
what?
to do with
it's
the show.
The reason the show exists is that she was a home-wrecking whore.
Exactly.
According to Stassi.
With that, I went back through the pilot, and I'm just going to quickly read.
First of all, just so everyone knows, I'm only seeing the side of this. There's so much on here. So, there's so much writing.
So...
You would swear you're getting paid $200,000 a year.
Well, this is why I'm saying I got a little too granular.
It's a job.
I got a little too granular, and I need to scale back a bit.
No, you don't.
This is how it goes right now. Stassi drinks on the... I'm just going from top to bottom. We begin. Stassi drinks on the job. Lisa takes a drink away. Mild, 1.
Can I guess what the ratings are?
Yes. Okay. Kristen. Okay. Well, this one I shouldn't have put, but I just thought it was funny. Kristen asks for limes to put in a Chardonnay.
Well, I want to say that's absurd, but that's probably just a 1.
That's a 1. Scheana dates Eddie Cibrian, married man, for 2 years.
5.
We got a 5 on the board. Stassi is rude to Scheana about not getting drink orders.
1.
Stassi is rude to Scheana after she gets the drink orders.
1.
Still 1.
I had to think about it though.
Stassi thinks she's better than everyone because she went to an all-girls school in Louisiana.
1.
1. Stassi gets into a fight with Jax at work because he was nice to Scheana.
Oh, see the work thing, but it's not a physical altercation, so I'm gonna say 2.
I gave to, but not just Stassi. I gave it to Jax as well.
Well, yeah.
I mean, even though he didn't really deserve it that much in this one, but you know, everything's a judgment call. Okay. Tom Sandoval thinks he can have Michael Jackson type of fame.
5.
I wanted to put a 5 so fucking badly.
One.
I gave him a 1. Stassi.
You think you are considering that like a bad thing?
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck him.
To me, it's an audacious claim. That's why.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
I put it as 1. Stassi is lazy and piggybacking off of the other servers.
1.
Stassi claims she is the descendant of a Swedish princess.
1. Man, Stassi's made a lot of claims.
She's not doing well here. Stassi is rude to Scheana in a team conversation around tipping.
Oh, so that might be a 2?
Is
it
was
like
on
a
the
work
border
argument?
here. It was in front of everyone, so that kind of made it like a 2.
But 1.
I gave it a 1.
Okay, keep it a 1. She's not doing that well, so we need to cut her some
Well,
give
the
her
next
one
one doesn't go well for her
God,
either.
here we go.
Stassi told the manager to get his dick sucked because he wanted her to stop drinking at work.
Who'd she tell that to? Peter?
Okay, so that didn't happen on camera, but that's what the story Guillermo told at the sushi testing at De La Rosa.
I fucking missed that.
Yeah. You need to get your dick sucked.
What's that, a 2 or a 3?
I gave that a 3.
I would say that's a 3.
Because what's a 3 again?
Well, you know what's interesting though?
That's absurd.
Kristen gets fired for telling Diana to suck a dick. Just saying.
Just saying.
Moving on.
Tom is up in arms about hairspray.
Oh, 1, but
So-
should be a 6.
Stassi bullies Scheana for wearing the gray work dress.
1.
Stassi is rude to Scheana when she asks for hot sauce.
When did she do that? Does
Said,
it work?
Where's the hot sauce? Like, where does it look like it is?
Okay, 1. Stassi's fucked. You're good. You might want to reconsider all the Stassi.
Hold on. I thought this too, but the next episode changes the game.
Okay.
Stassi makes Scheana polish all the glasses in the main room.
Yeah, 1.
I put that as a 2 because it made her do a physical thing.
Okay, fine, 2.
It wasn't just being rude. Stassi and Scheana fight at work back alley. Raised voices.
2.
I gave them 3s.
3. Okay, yeah, do it.
Raised
Boy, was a
voices
crazy
at
fight.
work. It was just loud. I thought it was absurd.
I just didn't know if it was different because it was in the alley.
I know. I thought about that too. So I might go back and change it. Stassi and Jax fight at brunch. I am the devil.
And don't you forget it. 1.
I gave them 2s.
Okay.
So the tally for this round leaves Stassi at 21, Jax at 4, Scheana at 8. Surprisingly, not a lot, but what she did do was significant. Kristen is at 1, Sandoval's at 2, and Schwartz and Katie are not on the board.
The fact that Kristen is at 1.
Hilarious, right? So I look at this and I think, holy fuck, I can't do this. It's just going to be a Stassi show. And then, but episode 2 comes around and I will go through, as we go through, I'll tell you what I marked different things
Oh, okay,
as.
great. You do need to do this on TikTok. Like, just have it next to you and just read it.
And
People will
read
eat
it.
that shit up.
It is.
I'm trying to get Carolyn big on TikTok.
I want to get big on TikTok.
You-
Will you follow me on TikTok, everyone? That's so desperate.
plug
but
yourself.
I don't fucking care.
Plug yourself.
At Carolyn for Real on all platforms.
Spell it.
CAROLYN FOR, not the number, REAL.
There you go.
There's a long story behind the handle, but it's too good of one to
You
give up.
know, I never asked. We'll do it on a Gabadine.
It's not.
And there's your homework. Follow Carolyn.
Thank you so much, everybody. Kisses. And then tell me what you want to see, because I'll do literally anything.
She'll literally anything. Nipples.
Nipples, ping pongs.
Oh. I heard they do that at strip clubs. I know. I've never seen it with my own 2 eyes, but I've had recounts. I've been told.
I feel like that was on a housewife thing, and it was a big, like, that's so foul. Okay.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just Google ping pong balls strip club and make sure you're on incognito mode.
Heyo.
I'm curious how much time was between the pilot and episode 2. I feel like not much. I feel like they probably just started filming right away.
I don't know either.
Was just curious.
Did you look at the hair length to tell?
I did look at the hair length, but it seemed like it was the same.
Rewatching it last time, I agree. It was egregiously different.
So much different. And
also, I did feel like Lisa deserved points on the board, but I didn't know she was off limits. Lisa and Ken. Ken needed a couple points in this episode too.
Oh, for kind of sexually harassing the guys. Yes. He literally like sexually harassed Jax. He's like, take your shirt off. Yeah, that's better. That looks good. I was kind of like, whoa, Ken.
I was like, Ken, you're lucky you're not on my rubric,
You're
buddy.
lucky it's 2014 and that shit used to fly back then.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, so as always, we're just going to go through this episode scene by scene and just talk about the main points. So we start out at SUR. There's a discussion between Lisa and Guillermo on whether or not they're going to do a gay pride float. And Guillermo is kind of like, bitch, chill the fuck out. Like, we
Yeah.
do not have the money. He's essentially like, just because cameras are up doesn't mean we're going to do a float. Like, we've never done this before. I don't want to do a float. I'm not about to drop 5K on this thing. But Lisa's pretty adamant. She's like, Guillermo, we need to support gay pride, which to me, she might as well have been like, Guillermo, don't be fucking homophobic.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing a float. And Guillermo says, okay, fine, as long as it's not pink. Float couldn't have been more pink.
It was the pinkest float there was.
The episode ends with them on the float. So they're kind of queuing up this float that Guillermo obviously doesn't want to do, but he has absolutely no say. So Stassi and Katie are at work. Stassi is contemplating dumping Jax. They're fighting. They're fighting at work. Is that on your list?
Yes. Oh, whoa. Yes, of course. Let's see. Jax and Stassi fight at work about Jax being irresponsible. I gave them 2s.
Well, yeah, and Stassi's saying Jax doesn't pay for a damn thing. She's basically his sugar mama.
What the hell, Stassi? When has no financial support and is 23? With this 35-year-old man? Like, I would hope my friends would be like, girl, don't do it.
I don't believe she has no financial support.
Did they talk about how poor they are all the time?
Fair. You know what? Fair. Maybe I do, but also...
I bet she gets like, I don't know, like my parents didn't give me support, but it would be like, for Christmas, like, here's some $100, you know, like nice things.
I just think Katie and Kristen are obviously never gonna say like, you need to dump him, because, and we learn this later on in this season, selfishly they love that Stassi's with Jax because it's their perfect little trifecta.
Right.
Kristen's with Tom, Katie's with Tom, Stassi's with Jax.
Right.
If Stassi and Jax break up, that's all ruined.
Right.
So they're never gonna be good friends to Stassi and be like, he doesn't deserve you, which is obviously true.
Right.
They want them to stay together.
Yeah. Which is evident in upcoming episodes when they don't approve of her next man.
Oh, Frank. But yeah, Lisa is like not having the fighting that Jax and Stassi are doing at work. And Lisa mentions this a couple of times that like the only I'm not gonna fire, if I'm gonna fire one person, it's gonna be you, Jax, not Stassi.
Yeah.
Because Stassi worked here first and she's Pandora's friend. She's Pandora's friend. She keeps mentioning that Stassi is Pandora's friend.
Well,
I forgot about that.
She like anchors on these things. I mean, she anchors on even with James Kennedy giving him so many shots. I feel like she references her friendship with his mom, or like his mom asked for a favor or something for him.
She loves there to be like reasons for things.
And like that's what makes me think she's a loyal bitch. And then I think through everything else and I'm like, but she's not.
No, Lisa's not. No. You need to add Lisa to that list.
I do need to add her.
The scene after SUR, they go to a tattoo parlor, Scheana and her mom. She gets a matching tattoo with her mom. And
is that something you would do? Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
You would with your mom? Would your mom do that?
My mom, I have that little ass lightning bolt tattoo on the back of my ankle, and my mom, I might as well have gotten a fucking swastika on my forehead. Like, she was so upset that I got this tattoo.
That would be my mom. I could never get her a tattoo.
But I think that if I pitched it as like, let's get a mother-daughter tattoo, she would be there in a fucking heartbeat. I do. I think that she would do that. I just made a comment that it's interesting. Like, I didn't realize Sheena's mom had her when she was 19. And I just am like that was an interesting thing. I did say poor Scheana, like the only person she has scenes to do with are her mom.
Yeah.
And if anything, again, she's fucking consistent. Like, her and her mom are besties. Then Stassi and Jax go on a date. But they basically go on a date just to fight.
I was going to say, I don't know if this would be a date.
It's like their first scene together was at SUR, they're fighting. Their second date together is at this stout restaurant, they're fighting.
There's so much fighting.
So Jax doesn't come home.
So Jax claims...
It's the dumbest. I'm sorry. I thought Stassi was smarter than this.
Also, can I just say, looking back at this, I look at Stassi and I'm like, look, she's 23. She is a child. She is just learning how this world works.
She's so young.
She's so young. Jax is my age at this point.
Yeah, he's like 33, 34.
I cannot imagine doing any of this shit to like, still?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
And that was then. It's been 10 years and he still.
That's so true. He's doing the same exact shit.
Still.
So by shit, he doesn't come home and says to Stassi, and Stassi's like, where did you sleep? And he's like, where do you think? And she goes, I asked Kristen, you weren't at their place. And he goes, yeah, I slept in my car. He
says he slept in his car, which was outside of their home, which I gave him a 2. That's lying. That's just stupid. That's not what happened.
I can't believe that Stassi somehow believes him. It's obvious that he didn't sleep in his fucking car. Like, come on, dude. But
Oh my God.
It's just fight after fight after fight.
Fight.
Okay, so then we get our first like real look into the exhilarating lives of a actor, a model actor. And we see Jax and Schwartz at a modeling shoot. And you really can't deny they are handsome.
Holy shit. Tom Schwartz gives me butterflies.
No, he is so cute.
Striking.
Like,
I forgot how good looking he was.
And charming. Like him and his like, it's funny because like him and his confessionals, he's kind of like bashful and blah blah, and he still does that now. It's just not as cute in his 40s as it was in his 30s.
I mean, I don't know if it's because he was like, his face just looks so different. He looks so defined.
I was just about to say he's got a nice jawline. He
looked, oh man.
I even think Jax is good looking, and I think he was better looking before any nose jobs.
Yeah.
Because he had very like defined features.
Jax was like never my type, but I think if I saw him in person, he would be.
He's not my type either, but he is handsome.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Is like you can't deny it. So they're at this shoot. Jax is just really talking more about essentially how fucking crazy Stassi is. And apparently he got offered to do this modeling gig, but because Stassi couldn't go and be there with him, and because he was modeling with another woman, it was in like Puerto Rico or something, she emailed the agent on his behalf and pretended to be him and said, I can't do the gig anymore.
So should this go on the sheet?
Yes.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was like before the show started.
I think it's just should
no,
still
it doesn't.
go on there.
Well, it's your choice. It's your sheet.
Yeah, that's true.
Jax also says he wouldn't put it past Stassi if she killed him, and then he smirks. Which to me, I'm just like, he fucking loves crazy bitches. Like he loves crazy bitches
because he's a sociopath.
He
Sorry,
loves it.
But he took the test.
He took the test.
With
We're just in the
Stassi.
fact. So then they're at Pride, and you've been to West Hollywood Pride before.
It is so fun.
It is so fun. And like, I just kind of want to say, like, I used to live on Santa Monica and Fairfax. So basically how the Pride floats work, just a little insider scoop, because we want people to listen to us because we're like, one, we just want people to listen to us.
Because we're attention whores.
But we've lived here and we've been to basically all of these things. We've done all these things. We can tell you the inside scoop. So I used to live by there, and basically the floats used to like park. Basically they'll go to the end of Santa Monica, which is Santa Monica and Fairfax. That's where they start the parade, and they park all the floats and everyone shows up. It's exactly what you saw on the show. Everyone shows up and they get on the floats, and then it starts, and then they go down Santa Monica Boulevard, and then they end like in the heart of Santa Monica Boulevard, which is where Pump was, where Tom is, the Abbey is. Like, it's beautiful. It's awesome. When I went there, I saw Jojo Siwa on a float. I saw Cardi B on a float. I was like I was like from here to our camera right now. Like, I was just like,
damn.
I was like, is that fucking Cardi B? Like, it is really like fun and exhilarating. It's just, and I just, you know what I think? I think where they failed is they should have done a float every year. I feel like it, like SUR should have done a float every single year. Like, they should still
Have they not?
No, they haven't. I think they stopped.
That was a mistake.
They should have been doing floats every year, highlighting like, 'cause this is our hot waiters and waitresses, and they don't
gonna
do
rip
it
their
anymore.
shirt off and put them on up there.
Like, that could have been like their thing. They should have thought ahead. Like, if the show ever ends, we need like our one thing.
Yeah.
Their float could have been legendary.
But I guess at Guillermo's point, it was probably expensive.
Probably was, but these floats, it's just like fucking trailer beds.
We could make one.
I could put you on the back of our Nissan Rogues.
We could put some apple carts on our Nissan Rogue and
Carolyn
some
Carolyn and I both drive Nissan Rogues, for those of you that don't know.
We like to follow each other.
So they're on the Pride float, and guess what Jax and Stassi are doing?
Fighting.
They're fighting because they're fighting in every single scene. So I love as Stassi keeps saying, I'm 23 years old. I shouldn't be putting up with this shit. Like, and I feel like when I first watched that, I'm like, yeah, you fucking shouldn't. And now I'm like, this is exactly what you should be doing at 23 years old. Like, this is exactly
Darling, you're doing precisely what 23 is meant to be.
Seriously. I know that Scheana doesn't really have any friends at SUR. Like, none of the girls are like her or whatever. But she is hanging all over Jax. And I know people don't like it when I'm like, this was produced. But I'm sure she was assigned to stand in that certain area with Jax.
Oh, yeah.
Because they knew it would cause drama. But where she lost me, and because I'm kind of team Scheana still, and if I'm putting myself in the shoes of I am watching this for the first time, I feel bad for Scheana. She knows Stassi is insecure. Stassi just told her last episode, I am insecure. I'm afraid you're going to steal my boyfriend. Scheana, why are you putting sunscreen on Jax's back, on his bare back? if you know that about Stassi. You know she's not going to like that shit.
Am I crazy?
Yes.
I didn't think it was a big deal.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a big deal, but we know Stassi.
But you have 3 ticking time bombs on the sidelines watching it
and
go
Scheana
down.
should have known. If I'm gonna be rubbing sunscreen on his bare back, Stassi's not gonna fucking like that.
But they acted as if he penetrated her on the float for everyone to see.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, it was just like hyenas on that situation.
And it's so funny that you say that too, because it was like hyenas, but it was like, but notice Stassi wasn't really there yelling at them. She said, Kristen, Katie, go. And they ran up like her little fucking minions, and they're screaming at Scheana and Jax, and Stassi's nowhere to be found.
She's even late to Pride.
She's even late to Pride.
And this is our introduction to Kristen. This is where she comes on the board and she starts to have a presence, getting in those fights that have nothing to do with her.
Yeah. Kristen even says, when Jax is like, what do you want me to do? I needed sunscreen. Kristen goes, ask me, ask Tom, ask your girlfriend. And in my head, I'm like, Kristen, in just a few weeks, you will be fucking Jax on his couch watching Drive. You think you're the one to be putting sunscreen on his back? Bitch, come on.
Their friendship is wild to me. But anyway, it's cute in the moment that they're being so supportive
Ride
of their
or
friend,
die.
I guess.
I feel like if I'm watching this as like an early 20-year-old, I'm like, I want friends like that. Fuck yeah, they're such good friends. Without realizing like the underlying, like they are brainwashed by Stassi, and they truly, it's like Regina George and like her fucking plastics.
And it's probably not appropriate at a work event to be really drunk and being like, she shouldn't be doing that with her boyfriend.
Oh, let me tell you something. If I had to be on that float at 10 a.m., I'd be taking tequila shots too. How fun would that be?
I would be hammered.
How fun would that be?
I would be so drunk.
So drunk.
It would be so fun.
The float ends and they end up at SUR. Lance Bass is there. I didn't realize we had such an early Lance Bass appearance, but it's like Lisa has to be like, show my friends.
Yeah.
Show my friends. Get Lance there. Get me hugging Lance.
I have friends and they're important. Bring them here.
Bring the gays. Bring over the gays. I need everyone to know that I am an ally. Lance Bass, come here.
I didn't even listen. Wasn't he just like, hey, Lisa, good to see you?
That was it.
Like, literally no point.
It was pretty insignificant.
No point.
It literally was like, bring my famous gays. But they're at SUR. Stassi takes Jax out to the back alley to
fight.
And they're fighting yet again. Again, the storyline should just be fucking fight. That's what this episode title should be.
It's exhausting.
I did think in this moment, I did have this thought of like, okay, all this fighting is exhausting me.
Yeah.
Just watching it, I couldn't even imagine being in the fight. And I did at this moment sort of believe maybe Jax did sleep in his car. Like maybe he did. Like I could see him being so like Stassi will not let up.
No, she's a dog with a bone.
Like the first word you could say to her, he'll be like they could walk outside and he'll be like, oh fuck, my shoe's untied. Your shoe? You're thinking about your shoe right now?
Yeah.
What about me? It's like, it is fucking exhausting. I could see him walking out and just being like, I just need silence.
Yeah.
Do I believe he slept in his car? No, I believe he went off and cheated on her.
Right.
But I could believe that he slept in his car.
Yeah. Why are they both still fighting for this? Like, why is Jax still here? Why is Stassi still here? Why? This is so dysfunctional. And I know, I get it for Stassi. I don't get it for Jax.
I get it for Jax.
Stassi,
he's with this hot young blonde who basically got him on a TV show.
That's fair. That's it. That makes it all make sense, actually. Okay, I never thought about it
But
like
we've
that.
all known that couple, whether it was in high school or college or whatever, it was a volatile relationship.
And you didn't want to go to parties with them?
Or maybe
they would just fight?
Yes, or maybe it was you.
Yeah.
But they would fight all the time. And you would think this is the time they're going to break up. And then they would never break up. And they arguably had the best sex life out of everyone.
Yeah.
And I guess like they just, we all know that couple is all I'm saying.
I also left this episode like 3 times being like, was that a breakup? Like there's so many things like, okay, are now they broken up?
Or it's like, are you really going to talk to each other like that and still be in a fucking relationship?
Yeah, like, why?
It's crazy how they talk to each other.
I just didn't realize that we had this relationship devolve so fast.
In the second episode, I'm like shocked. Like we're already talking about fucking Frank. And Laura Lee comes in this season. Like, I really did think Stassi and Jax dated like a little bit longer.
I wrote that. I said, why did I feel like they dated a while?
I think because in season 2, when we find out that Kristen and Jax hooked up, Stassi's so upset about it.
Maybe.
As if he cheated on her with Kristen, but they were broken up. Not saying that I'm minimizing it, like she should have been upset about it, but I feel like their relationship woes do go into season 2 so much.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a major plot point for a long time, even though their relationship lasted 0.5 seconds that we saw.
It's precisely, I don't know, 78 minutes of television. Literally. We do have one of those like mini scenes after this, and it's not really significant at all, but I just have to point it out. It's with Tom and Kristen mentions that Tom has a suspended license because he never checks his mail and never pays his tickets.
I put it on the sheet.
Yeah.
It doesn't check his mail.
But it's funny because now he's like with Ariana, he's like, I do everything. She's lazy. And in the second episode of Vanderpump Rules, Kristen's like, I have to drive Tom everywhere. He doesn't check his mail. Like, it's just so funny. That's all I have to say.
They're such wrecks.
They're all wrecks.
It's amazing.
Okay, like the big climax of this episode,
which is crazy that you would have thought.
We would have gotten
had
there.
10 fights by now.
Oh yeah, don't worry. The worst is yet to come. The worst is yet to come.
We're not even there yet.
So they go to Mixology, which is this bar in the Grove that I always felt like was one of those places that existed in like Universal Studios. Like, did people go to Mixology? Did you ever go there?
Like once.
Like, to me, it's like like one of those like big candy stores.
Yeah,
that, like,
it was really like touristy kind of.
Okay, that's what I thought. Like, it's very like.
But they go to some touristy places.
Well, they go to Mixology multiple times, and they do make it look really fun. And I was watching last night, and I'm like, damn, I need to go to Mixology?
Yeah. Does it still exist? Is it still there?
I think.
We should go.
So Frank is there. It's a fun foreshadow. We later find out that Frank is actually the one that drove Stassi to Mixology because Jax didn't drive her there. Jax is like, hey, Frank, thanks for driving Stassi here. It was great.
I didn't even put together that was Frank.
Dude, they've like queued it up for us.
I didn't even notice that.
TV fucking gold.
I was so focused on all the other shit going on.
And I know people have commented on like, this is produced, that I always say that. I just want to say, this whole episode, so not produced. Like, this whole ending, like, they could have never have foreshadowed that Stassi and Jax would break up and then Stassi would give her Frank. Like, it's just fucking gold.
It's so good. And they probably wish this episode were more produced.
Yeah.
Like, they lost the reins here of like, what's happening?
Exactly. Oh no, they totally lost it. And we will get to that. So Scheana is like, this is where I need to have my talk with Stassi. I need to go and apologize. First of all, Scheana is wearing the most 2010s outfit I've ever seen.
Oh, the lime green.
She's wearing a patterned
chevron,
body,
isn't it?
Well, she's wearing like a patterned bodycon skirt. Oh yeah, the chevron pattern,
yeah.
Right? Like bodycon skirt with a neon green blouse tucked in. And I'm not shit talking it. I love it.
Oh God, I had outfits exactly like
so many. You know what? I actually want you to send me your most 2010 outfit, a photo of you wearing it. And I'll find mine and we need to post it to our Instagram in honor of this episode.
Okay.
Because in honor of Scheana's outfit, like, we have to
pull back some of the good stuff.
We have to do it. So basically Scheana goes up and starts apologizing and Stassi goes on an absolute fucking rampage. And basically Stassi's like, that apology's not good enough. Here's what I want you to say. So Scheana essentially repeats what Stassi asked her to say verbatim. And even that's not good enough for Stassi, and it's her own fucking script.
And this is when we first meet Scheana, the people pleaser.
Oh, so true.
Who will just say whatever the fuck she thinks the other person wants to hear at that moment. Because that was weird.
No, you're right.
She was like licking Stassi's shoe.
She was like, what do you want me to say? Stassi says what she wants her to say. She says it. I also did feel like Scheana was a bit also just like exhausted.
Yeah. She was just like, get this over with.
I'm sure Scheana was done. Like, I just want to be on this show. I just want you guys to be friends with me. Like,
How
I don't.
Toxic.
Like,
I actually feel bad.
I did feel bad for Scheana. And I'm sure in her mind, she's like, the way that when this show comes out, the spin is like everyone's gonna hate me, and like I don't want that.
I want to look good. I want to look good.
The fact that like so many legendary scenes have happened in these first 2 episodes, I didn't realize the second episode of Vanderpump Rules is the shot
7
scene.
shots under 60 seconds.
So Jax walks in and immediately does 7 shots in a row. And I know that is such a famous scene, but like it still shook me to my core when I watched it. And I'm taking notes as I watch it. And I'm like, okay, Jax does 4 shots. And then he keeps going. I'm like, backspace, 5, backspace, 6, backspace, 7. It's like it kept going and going.
I had to rewind and I literally counted out loud. 1, 2.
Yes.
3.
The amount of backspacing I had to do and like
7.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Also, that's not even counting like a couple minutes before he did do a shot earlier.
Oh, yeah,
too.
no,
he did a shot
listen,
when he first walked in and then those.
Just a small portion of the pie chart of what he had that night to drink. But oh my God.
No, it was wild. And Stassi's all mad because, which I actually would be mad
and
at
he
this
says
too.
he's not drunk too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm fine.
not drunk. Granted, they were probably like mixed drink shots, but 7 shots in a row, you're getting fucked up.
Whatever it was, you're there for not a long time.
Also, your mixology is on like the 2nd floor. You're at altitude and like, just kidding.
You're like 20 feet above sea level.
So Stassi's all upset. She's already fucking pissed. She's got to stick up her ass. And Stassi and Jax
fight.
They get in a fight, and the most unproduced fight. They get in a fight in the bar, but then they pick back up cameras of them in the fucking going down the stairs and in the parking lot.
Follow them.
Not one light on them.
Not one light. You know, guys. You know, when there's no light and there's a camera kind of chasing people.
Oh, wobbly camera.
Good shit is going down.
Yeah.
Things they did not expect.
So they're fighting in this farmer's market parking lot of the Grove. And it did weirdly, I think we mentioned this in our Gabby episode. It kind of gave me like weird nostalgia vibes of like, I remember when me and like my shitty ex-boyfriends used to get in like drunken fights in parking lots after nights out.
I know when he said like, when Stassi said Jax would leave me at bars, I was like, oh, I remember when I would get left at bars. I remember when I left bars.
Yeah.
Like, those were the
We were
days.
so dramatic. Just fucking break up. Seriously, why are you putting yourself through this? Why? Why do we put ourselves through this?
Because we think it's gonna be worth it. Because we're delusional.
Literally delulu.
Ugh.
So they get in this huge fight. It ends with them I guess, breaking up.
My last thing was, okay, so are they broken up now? So this is the breakup.
It does seem like it's a breakup. We'll probably find out more.
I thought they broke up at Stout. Like, I'm this far, but I was like, okay, so they're not. Okay.
It's
so
tough.
we're not,
I'm sure
it's
the
touch
editors are probably like pulling their fucking hair out. Like how, like they're probably just as confused.
We can't put this in.
Like, how does this work? They're so confusing.
That's such a good point.
The editors are like, fuck this dude. I quit. I can't do this show.
They take 7 shots. Yeah, they're like, I'm out of here.
I quit. I do think it's a breakup. We'll obviously find out more in episode 3, like definitives, but they do show in the preview that Frank re-enters the picture. And Stassi saying like, you know, I kind of like Frank. And we have that nightclub scene that, it's just, everything's just so good.
Oh, yes. At Boulevard 3, isn't it?
I think so, but have you been there?
I mean, we used to go at that time, it was the shit.
Nightclubs, we talk about this a little bit.
We loved Boulevard 3. We would go there. Johnny and I would go there a lot.
I've never been. I feel like the nightclub scene was more of a scene in the 2010s, like the Hills, right? They were always at fucking nightclubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like people don't really go to nightclubs anymore.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just not invited.
I think we're also just old now. No offense.
No, you're probably right.
But I think the kids these days.
I think people go to nightclubs. We just don't go to nightclubs.
I think a lot of our listeners still go to nightclubs because they're cool.
Well, no,
as fuck.
I'll go to nightclubs in like Vegas, sure.
Yeah,
but in
that's
LA,
true.
there's like so many other places to go.
Also, when you go in LA, it's like it's a vibe.
It's a weird scene. It's like not like. Funnily enough, actually, I did just go to a nightclub like 3 weeks ago, but it was an accident. It was an accident. I didn't know it was a nightclub. And basically, I was in Hollywood, right where all the fucking nightclubs are. And I was walking down the street, and there was this like little alleyway. And there was just someone at a podium, and all these like cool looking people were walking up. And I'm like,
that's a sign.
I'm walking up.
And you're a cool person. You got to walk up.
I'm like, why not? I'm with my 2 friends. I'm like, let's just go see what this is.
Yeah.
So we walk up, and they did hit us with a, are you on the list?
No.
It was the coolest fucking thing that has ever been said to me. Are you on the list? And I said, no. I said, we just saw a bunch of people walking up here and it looked cool. And he goes, who are you with? And I like pointed to my 2 friends. I was with all girls, but that probably is what got me. And they go, just go in.
Yes.
Turns out we
just
were.
Just go in. Those were the golden words.
Just go in.
Just go in.
Turns out we were at the grand opening of a new nightclub. But it was barely a nightclub. It was a room. It was a room
What was
that's
it called?
connected to Mother Wolf, the restaurant in Hollywood. I've never been. It was called Mars. It was fun. It just looked like a little pop-up though.
Yeah.
But all I'm getting at here is you're absolutely right about the difference in like vibes. When you go to a nightclub in like Las Vegas, it's like huge and everyone's dancing and you're there with your friends. In LA, it's like you're there with the promoter. You have to take pictures with the promoter. You have to take pictures with the bottle. Everyone's cheersing. It's like, it's such a
There's
scene.
a lot of girls with very short things.
They're
and
all
fake
wearing like the
boobs
same
and, like,
thing.
It's just not that either of those things are bad. It's just
It's
like
just the same. They're all frowning.
everyone's sad.
They're not happy they're there at all. They don't want to be there.
I will say there is a club. What's the one downtown? That's the most recent one I've been to. That was the most Vegas club I've been to.
I would love to know.
And I've been there a couple times.
Exchange.
Exchange.
Oh, Exchange? I've been there.
A large dancey for sure.
Okay, so if you listened to our Gabby last week, we talked about or maybe 2 weeks ago, we talked about like large chatties, small dances, and we actually, Carolyn and I hung out on Sunday this week, and we talked a lot about that too. So it translates into real life.
Yeah, it's applicable to everything.
Because I was at a large chatty on Saturday, and let me tell you, I was exhausted.
You avoid as much as you can.
I just haven't really been to an LA nightclub in a while, but maybe I'll make it a goal. I really want to go to Sound Nightclub. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's in Hollywood, and it is apparently has the best sound system in LA. But it's always plays like really intense house music that I'm like,
Does it play gabber music?
It may in fact play gabber music. I love their little gabber talk.
That was so fucking funny.
So if you're if you refer to yourself as a gabber, if you're one of our listeners and refer to yourself as a gabber, look up what that means.
It's the best.
It's
or
the
go to
best.
our other episode and watch us talk about it.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the tallies for this episode?
Yes, please. This will be a fun way to end our podcast.
So this one, I have Stassi coming in again in first place with 17 points.
Just this episode?
Just this episode. Jax is not too far behind at 11. Okay. Kristen, we see Kristen get on the board. She's third with 5. Then Scheana and Katie have 2. I gave Shorts 1, actually. I gave him 1 for egging Jax on about making out with other girls.
Oh, he does when they're at their modeling
He's
shoot.
like, won't you miss it? I don't know. To me,
you're
it
right.
irked me, so I gave him a 1.
He does say to Jax, like, oh, it sucks having a girlfriend. Like, don't you miss making out with other girls? Fair.
Yeah, and I was like, foreshadowing much?
No, that's a 1. That's a 1 for
So
sure.
I gave him a 1, and then Sandoval got a 1. What do you get a 1 for? Got his license suspended because he doesn't open his mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so for running totals, this brings us with Stassi in the lead with 38. She's done a lot of damage in these first 2. Jax is second with 15, but we know he'll get up there. Scheana is not too far behind with 10, but she packs a heavy punch whenever she does appear on the board. Kristen is appearing with a 6, Sandoval 3, Schwartz 1, Katie 2.
It is crazy though, because as the series goes on, it like just completely
It's gonna go like this. I'm actually really curious.
I still feel like Stassi till her end may have a fierce lead.
Till she leaves the show.
I think
for the
so.
First time.
She's always sassy.
That's true. There isn't an episode where we don't see what we saw this episode.
No, definitely not. Well, I'm really glad that you're doing this thing. It makes recapping it like a little more fun, you know?
And also, I could argue that more points means you're kind of killing it because that means you have more airtime. You're the star. You're who we're looking at.
Wow,
you know?
facts.
So I think she should own that 38.
More points means better reality TV.
Better reality TV.
Jax and Kristen are about to totally fucking embark on a point journey.
Yeah. And I can't wait for it.
I can't wait for it either. Well, if you don't already, please like, rate, subscribe. We love reading the comments, good or bad. We are also really close to hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that may mean nothing to you, but it does mean something to us because if we hit hit 1,000 subscribers, we could get money off of our videos.
And that would be so cool.
That would be cool. Who doesn't love money?
Who doesn't love money?
And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Girls Unscripted Pod. That's us.
That's us.
And that's our show.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back here next week with the same thing with episode 3.
And we'll do a Gabbity next week as well. If you like things other than Vanderpump Rules, make sure to watch our weekly Gab.
Please do.
Okay, that's it. Bye.
Okay, bye. Love ya.